Hey guys, welcome back to Gamers Extreme, and today, August 9 and myself, Glacier928, want to discuss pretty much the PS Vita New York City Community Meetup event that occurred last night. So, we finally got our hands on the PlayStation Vita, and gotta say, very impressed with the system. Very, very impressed. August 9, what do you think?
It just blew me away. It's like having a PlayStation 3 in the palm of your hand with a lot of other cool features to go with it. They had apps on there. You can, while you're playing your game, you can switch that out and message a friend or check your trophies. It's great. It's almost like an iPod in the way you can multitask.
Yes, definitely agree with that. It's a very sleek interface, very responsive, very fast, and even suspending a game and then going back into it literally takes like a split second to get into and get out of. So, the games that we tried out last night were Wipeout 2048, Little Deviants, Modnation Racers Road Trip, Hot Shots Golf World Invitational, Little Big Planet, Reality Fighters, and my personal favorite, Uncharted Golden Abyss. So we're going to give our brief rundown of each game and what we thought, whether, you should get it as a launch title. There's certain games that were better than others, but everything there was actually really good. What'd you think of Little Big Planet for the Vita?
I thought it was really nice. It played a lot like Little Big Planet 2 did, but they also added some 6-axis functionality to it, so you can actually move objects in the world towards you or away from you by tilting your PlayStation. So
yes.
That was definitely a nice touch, but on the whole, I kind of felt like it was a title that it wasn't really a must-have when you get it. It was still a lot of fun, but maybe just consider that one before you jump out and buy it.
Yeah, I mean, again, nothing wrong with Little Big Planet. This is definitely for those who are die-hard Little Big Planet fans. In terms of designing your levels with the whole touchpad, it does make things a lot more intuitive and a lot simpler than you can have ever imagined. But if you're a huge Little Big Planet fan, then this is obviously going to be one of your launch titles. If you've never been into Little Big Planet, maybe look into it a little bit more before purchasing it. So, next thing was, the first game that we actually played once we got into the event was Reality Fighters, which was a neat augmented reality take on Photo Dojo, in a sense, from the DSi. What'd you think of that?
Well, basically, just to give a quick rundown, in Reality Fighter, you're allowed to, take your snapshot, put your face in the game, and build your fighter with a unique set of moves, and then you can play against your friends or other people around you. And one really unique feature I found was that you can pan and tilt the Vita to pan the camera. So while the fight's going on, you actually have to change where you're looking or where you're pointing the Vita to keep the fight on the screen. I thought that was a really interesting touch.
Yes.
The game itself, I would say it wasn't quite as fluid as, say, like a Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom, but it might be something more towards a Mortal Kombat. So if you're used to fighting in that game, it might feel very intuitive to you. But even so, it's a really easy game to pick up and play. The fighting system is very simple. The button combinations are great, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you. It was definitely a lot of fun to check out, the augmented reality aspect of it, and how the camera functions worked, and just the combat itself was actually fast, fluid. It worked really well. The only question I have is just how much content the game is going to provide for the full asking price.
That's right.
And to me personally, it felt more like a downloadable title that I would like to have in my system. As for full asking price, again, I want to get more of a complete hands-on of the game, so I can give a full review on that once the Vita comes out, to give my impressions if it really is worth the asking price. However, what was there was actually really fun. Next game we actually tried out was Hot Shots Golf World Invitational. Gameplay's great, as just as great as ever. Visually, it looks nice, vibrant, colorful, and on that OLED screen, it just looks really stunning. So, I mean, what'd you think?
Pretty much, I have to echo everything you said. Just all the games looked amazing on that OLED screen. That was just a huge part of it for me. Just how the colors popped, and how sharp the graphics were. But as for the game itself, I wasn't really a big Hot Shots Golf player up until now. But my first impressions were that it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of depth to the game. I mean, like, you can pick your clubs, which ball you use, and all of your different golfers, from what I saw, they all have different stats. So you gotta pick one that you like, that you like the best, or you can go with one that has better stats. But it seems very approachable for anybody, and the gameplay itself was very intuitive, very easy to pick up, and it was a lot of fun.
Bottom line is, my personal choice, I would definitely say that Hot Shots Golf is certainly a must-have with the Vita at launch.
I was a little bit on the fence when it came to making it a must-have or not, but I think I had to go with saying it was fun.
Okay.
But I would definitely say, if you can, check it out for yourself first. because that one's definitely right on the brink.
Yes, yes. So on top of that, we played Modnation Racers Road Trip, and that was actually, I thought, pretty neat. I really enjoyed Modnation Racers on the PlayStation 3. It's really cool to actually play Modnation Racers and use the touchscreen to actually draw out the layout of your level, and it's just, you can literally create a level in seconds, which I thought was really wild. As well as do the city auto-populate feature, where it just automatically puts the items and the boost and all the props of the environment right into the game for you, just like the PS3 version. But again, the whole fact of actually drawing out with your finger the track layout is really intuitive.
Definitely.
And the game plays just like it did on the PS3. So if you're a fan of the PS3 version, as I would say that's definitely a must-have for a launch title.
Definitely, and especially just given the amount of content that you get for the asking price, and the fact that you can make your own racers, your own cars, your own tracks. It really is just like incredible, and it's got unbelievable replay value. So I would vote a must-have on that one too.
Then we also checked out Wipeout 2048. And now this was interesting because we were blown away by one of its particular features, which was the cross-platform play. So on display, they actually had Wipeout HD set up on the PS3 with the Vita next to it with Wipeout 2048, and we were able to actually play the Vita with the PS3 online. So I was actually playing the Vita version while you were playing the Wipeout HD for the PS3, and we were actually playing online with each other, and it worked seamlessly. It was really something to see in action, and it's definitely a huge step forward with what the integration between the Vita and PS3 hold in the future. Just for that feature alone, I would say it was already a must-have because I was blown away with that. But Wipeout games are always fun, so you know, it was a great launch title for the PSP. It was a great downloadable title for the PSN, and it definitely stands out as another great installment for the Vita.
Absolutely, and it was such a strong candidate for a racing game for the Vita, and the graphics, it really blew me away. Like more than any other game there today, except maybe for Uncharted, but we'll get more on that later.
We'll get on that one in a little bit.
The graphics are just incredible for it. The only difference I'd say was between the PS3 and the Vita version was that the Vita had that a lower frame rate.
Yeah, down to 30 frames a second.
But other than that, I'd say the two versions are indistinguishable. Like, it's amazing to see those high-quality PS3 graphics on a portable screen. Just completely blew me away.
Yeah, there's no question about the fact that those games do look like literally a PS3 console in your pocket. There's just no denying that. Then we had a little Deviants, which is an interesting title with a whole new way of playing this game. It's actually really pushing the whole aspect of using the rear touchpad and the front touchpad. And the mini game that we actually had to play with that was you had to actually put your thumb on the front touchpad and then like one of your fingers behind in the rear touchpad and kind of pull back your fingers like those are rubber bands and actually control your little Deviant by pulling him against like a little like wrestling, you're in a wrestling ring, and then pull him against the rope and like launch him along the ring to kind of roll into the enemies and knock them out. It was definitely an interesting premise. I mean, it's definitely fresh, it's definitely original. We definitely need to see more titles like that. It's all about taking risks, which, you know, I'm all for. So, definitely an interesting game. Not sure if it was something that catered personally toward me, but definitely something to keep an eye out for. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and I gotta say, one of the things I loved about it is that, like, I was just waiting all night to find a game that made use of that rear touchpad.
Yes.
Because that was something I was looking forward to the whole time. And I gotta say, Little Deviants kind of reminded me a lot of, like, WarioWare, if you're into those games that have, like, a lot of mini games.
Yes.
But yeah, this one was really interesting. It did take a little bit of getting used to have your fingers in the same spot to, like, you know, to do that rubber band motion.
Yes.
But after you get the hang of it, it looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
As for it being a must-have, that really depends on what you're into. If you like more like the mini-game type of games, it's great for you. If you're looking for something maybe a little more hardcore, a little more like really action-y, this might be one to pass up on for now.
The bottom line is, if you plan on getting the PS Vita First Edition bundle, which comes with Little Deviants, by all means, you definitely will enjoy the game. As far as going out and spending the $30 on it, again, up to you for what you're looking for. So, based on what we saw, it is pretty neat. Just personally, not sure if it's a must-buy for me at this moment. So, lastly, Uncharted, Golden Abyss. I was Nathan Draken all night long.
I mean, what can't you say about this one? It was incredible.
It was absolutely stunning, to say the least, and even that's not doing it justice.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, it looked literally like I was playing the game on the PS3. It just looked absolutely astounding. Control-wise, just like the PS3. Animations, everything from the PS3 type of Uncharted title that you'd expect is here in portable format. So pretty much what I was really intrigued by was the control scheme as well. When we were testing out the game, it was pretty much a mix of using the buttons on the Vita as well as utilizing the touchscreen. But it was in a way that, you know, for example, if you're zooming down your sights with the scope of a sniper rifle, you'd actually use your thumb and swipe up on the right side of the screen, and it would actually zoom in, and it would control your scope, which was really neat. Another thing I loved was that when the gun icon's on the top left of the screen, just like in the regular heads-up display of the game, you tap that, and that's how you actually reloads. And it actually provides for like an intuitive experience by actually combining both the control scheme and touchscreen to provide this experience that's, you know, just a little bit more refreshing with a whole new take on it. And the other neat thing was when you do climb along the wall, I did test out the dragging your finger across the actual ledge for Drake to climb, and he actually does the whole entire ledge if you draw the whole line across the screen. So again, very cool tech that they put into the game. Is Uncharted the launch title? Based on what we saw last night, absolutely.
Definitely.
Like, buy it now.
Like right now.
Like right now.
This is the killer app for the PS Vita for sure.
This is the reason to go out and buy your PS Vita. No question.
Absolutely.
So aside from that, the only thing I wasn't crazy about with the PS Vita, but again, it's the same argument that can be said about the PSP, was that it's a fingerprint magnet. But again, I mean, you know, you kind of expect it. It's that glossy look. It does look sleek. It looks stylish. So you do have to expect that there's going to be fingerprint on there. I mean, you just can't avoid that. But otherwise, that's the only slight complaint I would have with the system. This build itself is solid. The analog sticks felt great. Just everything about the build itself was just really, really impressive.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Pretty much that's our thoughts on the PS Vita from the community meetup last night. I mean, there was a good amount of people there. Everything about it was just really a great atmosphere to be in. So, thanks again to the PlayStation blog for hosting that event, first off, because that's how we actually got to check out our PS Vita finally, and definitely sealed my purchase for the system. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think, what you guys are looking forward to, and on top of that, one other bigger, important piece of news that August 9 has for us.
Now, PlayStation Blog is actually going to be hosting these events up until February 29th in the same location. So, you know, check the blog, keep up to date on it, and definitely I encourage all of you to go out and check out the Vita for yourself. There's an awesome setting. They had food and drinks for everybody, and it was just really cool. So I'm going to encourage all of you to go out there and try out the Vita for yourself.
For any of you guys who live anywhere near the city, definitely, if you have that time, if you're in the city already, or if you're maybe just outside the city, and you know, take that time. If you actually have nothing else to do, go for it. You know, just go out and have a good time.
It's an awesome experience.
So, all right, guys. Well, that's our hands-on with the PS Vita. Definitely expect more reviews for the Vita once the system launches.